Thanks for joining me today. As always, this is just a demonstration of how I go about doing things. If you have a better way, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you decide to do one of these skills yourself, I would encourage you to research multiple sources. I've included a couple of excellent links in the description, as well as links to me doing these skills in real life. Enjoy the video, and I'll see you on the next skill. Alright, today we're going to be talking about splitting kindling. It's one of the basic skills you need if you're going to build a fire, particularly if you're building it around a place where you have stacks of wood. We'll also talk about gathering different types of kindling from a natural environment. But one of the advantages of splitting kindling is it just allows you to not have a bunch of little sticks and pieces laying around. You can just split it as you need it. Keeps everything more neat and tidy. The other thing is, if your wood happens to be a little bit wet, then splitting it will actually expose dry wood. So if you're going to be doing a lot of splitting, you'll want what they call a splitting maul. If you're going to just be doing a little bit, a hatchet or an axe will work fine. I happen to have a splitting maul, so that's what we're going to use. So there's lots of different ways that you can try and split. You can do this, hope that your fingers aren't in the way. You can do that, hope you hit it and your fingers aren't in the way. The way that I've found that I like best and gives me the most control is I'll actually put the maul where I want it, lift and go down. And that puts it exactly where I want it, keeps my fingers out of the way, and it's pretty easy. So if I want a really small piece, I can do that. If I want a big piece, you have to keep an eye out for knots. I can do a big piece. So it makes for a pretty quick splitting of kindling. Everything ends up roughly in the same spot. Don't have to do a lot of gathering. I can keep my fingers pretty close to it because I'm not really worried about it breaking off. Like if I was doing the drop and chop method, I'd be a little nervous right now because I don't have great coordination. But with this, I don't have any fear of having my fingers there. Okay. Then you can turn it like this. And continue till you have all the kindling you need. You can also pick up these small little pieces if you want really small stuff, and just get whatever size you need pretty quickly. If you have nice dry stuff like this, it's even better. It'll follow the grain of the wood, so if you got a really wonky grain, you won't get nice long pieces. If you got nice straight grain, you'll get nice straight pieces. Then from there, if that's still too big, then what I like to do is just pull out my pocket knife. This you got to be careful because pocket knives, of course, should be pretty sharp. Now you can get very fine shavings. All without putting your digits at risk, hopefully. Or you can also make a fuzz stick, which is just simply a lot of really small little pieces of wood all raised up so that they have air under them. That gives the fire lots of places to start. You can make it a lot longer shavings if you want. That's just kind of an example of what one would look like. All right. And you can use big boards too, if that's what you've got, and then break them in half or start larger fires. The other thing we can do, if you build your own place, you're gonna have lots of leftover little 2x4 chunks, and so that'll work fine. If you're splitting your own wood, then you can find a piece. You want to find a piece that's got at least a nice flat bottom edge. You can see this one's got a little, didn't get quite flat cut all the way, but that won't be a problem. The other thing I like about this is it's got a nice crack going down it. So that means I shouldn't have to put too much effort into the first chop. Then once it's on there, and boom, now you've got your nice flat. Then from here, these won't tend to be as nice and straight, because one like this particular one, it's got a lot of knots in it. And then it's a little bit rotted as well. And it's got a knot right there at the end. If you start where there's a knot, it gets really hard. See, again, I've got a knot there. Let's see if this side works any better. This looks like a fairly clear side right here. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. Does work better if you got a fairly clear spot that doesn't have a lot of knots. Again, this is a terrible piece because it's got all those knots in it, but you get the idea. I think this piece over here will work maybe a little better, we'll see. So this piece, when you're cutting firewood, sometimes you'll get splits like this. This is a perfect use for pieces like that. So right there, I can separate a lot of that kindling right like that. So it splits pretty good till it gets close to that knot. Now I got that knot somewhat out of the way. And then you just continue. If you want to break into little bigger pieces, find a good end where it'll stand. And then you can do the drop and chop. There you go. Click on the link and we'll go to the next skill.